Herzlich willkommen to Grandma Gila Gets It Going, or How to Make a Schnitzel. We're gonna make German Schnitzel here, and it's all about the patting. What you need is spices, sweet paprika, garlic powder, black pepper, and salt. What you need is some flour, an egg, and some breadcrumbs. I prefer the traditional breadcrumbs. I'm not going to go for the fancy stuff, the Italian, seasoned or whatever. But if you prefer that, do it. So, as a meat, if you want to do a Wiener Schnitzel, the original one, you need veal. But in a normal household, it might be too expensive to use veal. So what we Germans usually use is pork. And if you use a pork, it's not Wiener Schnitzel, it's Schnitzel à la Vienna. So it is a version, whatever. Buy some pork chops. I wouldn't go for the thin cut, and try to find meat that is marbled a little bit, because that adds to the taste, whether it's your steak or our schnitzel. If the meat is marbled, that's better. So we start about beating it. So if you are German and you have a husband that you don't like, prepare schnitzel. And when you prepare the schnitzel, think about the guy. And then hit it. Hit it from the middle to the outside until it is very flat and very thin. And then you turn it and you do the same thing from the other side. You can use that part, but if it's getting too thin, it might hurt the meat. So I usually go with the flat side. If you don't have something like that, I don't know, use a heavy glass. Do it with your hands, you can do that as well. You don't need to have that. So that's the first part of beating the schnitzel. And then you add the spices, as I said, a little bit of the sweet paprika, a little bit of the garlic powder. I mean, if you like garlic, go for a little bit more. I don't know. Some black pepper. What? Wrong side. And some salt. You can use white pepper as well, but I rather have the black pepper because it's got a stronger taste. Some salt. And then we're going to do some patting again. Just to make sure that the spices are in the meat. Turn them. And spice them from the other side. Okay, you can use chicken as well if you want to. If you're not a pork person, if you are a chicken, for that matter, you can use chicken, and that would taste very good as well. So, chicken tenderloin, or whatever is a thin cut, use that. Got the garlic, and we get the pepper. Now the next part is the breading. And again, it's about patting. So you use some flour, you use an egg. Of course, you beat the egg. So the whole schnitzel thing is about beating and patting, hitting, and eating them. So you don't need a fancy device like that one that I bought in Germany. Every other plate would do as well. But I would take a flat plate to use it. So we're going to put in the schnitzel first in the flour. And as I said, pat it a bit. Pat it a bit to make sure that the flour coats the meat from all sides. Okay, put the second in. And I usually have a hand for the dry and a hand for the wet, because this way I won't bread my fingers, I only bread the meat. And then we go with the breadcrumbs. And again, especially with the breadcrumbs, make sure that you pat it, that you get them on the schnitzel, because if you don't do that, the layer of breadcrumbs, and this is the layer that makes your schnitzel crispy, will be not good enough. So pat it, turn it, pat it, and you got your first schnitzel. Okay, I'm back again. I cheated. I prepared a stack of schnitzel, and now we're getting ready to fry it. I prefer using margarine for it because it gives, as I think, a better taste than oil, and it's better to handle than butter. If you want to use butter at all, you should use ghee. I don't know whether you've heard that. That is when you can prepare it at home. You can make it at home. You take a stick of butter, you put it in a pot, and you simmer it at low heat until all the flakes and everything is gone, and what you get is something like that when it's cold. And it looks a little bit like oil, and it is ghee. They use it in the Indian kitchen. Ghee would add a nice buttery flavor to the margarine, or if you use just ghee, that would be good, but butter contains too much water, so it's not good for frying. So I'm going to put a stick of margarine in here and heat it. Now what do you do with the leftovers here? Here comes the part my husband loves, because what he loves is what we call a patty. We're down to patting again. So I put the rest of the flour and the rest of the breadcrumbs into the egg, and I mix it, and I form a dough patty, and we're going to fry the dough patty with the schnitzel. So this is just what he likes and what the kids used to like, and they were fighting over who's going to get a part of that thing. You can eat schnitzel with ketchup, but I think it's a no-no, the same as you do with steak. You wouldn't eat a good steak with ketchup, right? You may have heard about the Hunter schnitzel, which is a schnitzel with mushroom gravy. That is very nice. It tastes very nice, but it isn't a compliment to the cook, because I do everything to prepare a crispy schnitzel, and what you do is you pour the mushroom gravy over the schnitzel and all the crispiness is gone, but it is a very nice taste. And then we have a specialty that is called gypsy schnitzel. A gypsy schnitzel would be, a Zigeuner schnitzel would be that you add paprika, peppers, red peppers, and you make a gravy with them, a very tasty gravy, and you pour it again over the poor schnitzel, and you take away all the crispiness. Okay, now the pan, the margarine in the pan is getting ready. So now we're going to form a patty with that, and you should wait before you put your schnitzel in the pan until all of the water that's in there is gone. So when it stops sizzling, that's the perfect time when you put in your schnitzel or your patty for that matter. So all you have to do now is fry your schnitzel from one side and then from the other side until it's golden, and enjoy. I'm not going to keep on talking because I'm getting ready. I can smell the margarine, and I have to make the mashed potatoes that go with the schnitzel, so I'm not going to keep on talking. Let me know if you have any questions, and if not, enjoy the schnitzel and have fun. Bye!